Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Gregory Martin, aka the Super Producer, and we're back with another series review. Now before we get into the review, please don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. It keeps you notified whenever I post a new video, and it also helps the channel grow. And with that being said, let's just jump right into today's video. And today we're reviewing the highly anticipated Netflix series, The Umbrella Academy Season 2. And I will say that this season definitely lived up to the hype, and to me it was way better than the first season. Even though that may be some recency bias, to me this season was the payoff that we needed and wanted after the first season was really just us getting familiar with the characters and the character flaws that each one possessed. So season 2 starts off where season 1 ended, with the siblings escaping 2019 and going back in time after Vanya destroys the world. That's actually the theme for this season as well. Spoiler. So number 5 transports them back in time to one of the most century-shaping decades in American history, the 1960s in Dallas, Texas. This is right before the assassination of JFK and right in the middle of the civil rights movement. However, soon after arriving, 5 witnesses the apocalypse happen again and gathers that being there has somehow altered the timeline and that he must return with his siblings back to their original timeline. So what he has to do is he has to go back in time again 10 days earlier to prevent the events that caused the apocalypse. And that's the story of this season, very similar to season 1. I found the setting of this season pretty peculiar, especially with what we're dealing with now with the civil unrest. I don't know if that was done consciously, but I really enjoyed that part of this season. It helped us explore Allison's character a lot more in this season. They also explore sexuality with Vanya having a relationship with a married woman, and we see how that might look like in the 1960s in Texas, of all places, which isn't a very liberal state, especially back in that time. That's what I really liked about this season, how they blended social issues and still found a way to tie those together and make a very entertaining season. I also think they did a great job of creating arcs for these characters. Remember, there are 7 siblings, and then they introduce a couple new characters who we see their arc as well. So I think the filmmakers did a masterful job in weaving in and out of stories, not making the character's story feel contrived. You know, it felt very natural. It didn't feel forced, and I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the time that they took and having us develop these feelings for these different characters, whether good or bad. I didn't like all of the characters, but at least I understood their point of view and where they're coming from. So hats off to the director and the writing on this series. Like, this season was superb. I think the only issue I had with like them trying to force something was around episode 8. That episode was extremely annoying just because they had an opportunity to get out of the timeline and something happens where all the characters revert back to their individuality, and because of that they missed the opportunity that 5 has gotten them to escape. But I will say the last 2 episodes justified what they did in episode 8, because those episodes were just action-packed and a lot of material. There was a lot of reveals that happened, and that for me made this season, even though the other episodes were good in their own right as well. If you have never watched The Umbrella Academy, you definitely need to check out this series. To me, it's one of the best TV series that Netflix has ever produced. For me, it may be in the top 10 all-time series premiering on Netflix, maybe even top 5. And that gets me thinking that actually may need a video. Like, what are the top 10 series on Netflix like ever so far in their their short, almost 20-year history? For me, I think it's up there. But I think that's a good video topic for another time. Well, that is my review of The Umbrella Academy. There was a lot more I could have touched on, many more interesting characters that they introduced into this season, but I don't want to spoil it for those who have not watched it yet. As always, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.